Hello and welcome back to Tech Tuesday, where in today's video we're doing another vintage edition. This time we're looking at a cassette deck, and it is the Technics RS-B505. Now this came out in around the late 80s, sort of 1987 onwards, more or less. I bought it for 30 quid on eBay, which is, to be fair, quite a good price. I don't think you'd be able to get one for that price again, but there's how much I paid for it. And I think we should just jump straight in and have a look at some of the playback features, and then afterwards we'll look at some of the recording features. But just before we do that, I just want to say, if you do enjoy the video, please do be sure to like it, and also do subscribe. It means a lot to me. I've not got many subscribers, so the ones I do get mean a lot. Cheers. On with the video. Right, okay, so welcome to the overview of the device. So what we're looking at here is obviously the cassette deck, the power button here, which turns it on and off, obviously, and also the eject. So there we are. I've got some audio library music on this cassette, so we'll have a listen to that in a minute. So that's quite simple. In terms of passing the dad test, which is how slowly the door opens, I think it passes. It's slow, but it's not painfully slow. It does the job. And also down here we've got a nice bit of 80s pointless text in the form of 2-motor processor, logic control, and class AA recording amplifier. Means absolutely sod all, but you know, it's there if in case you need to know. And then if we move along, we see the main control panel. So as you can see on this bit, we've got the tape counter, which is reset by this button here. So if we forward it forwards a little bit, you can see it counts up. If we play it, what you'll see is one of these, I think it goes up every 4 seconds, more or less. I think I'm not really sure, to be honest, but yeah, there you are. That's that. And then to reset it, you just press the button that says counter reset. It's fairly self-explanatory, that one. And then just below that we've got some more 80s text. HX Pro headroom extension. Now what that is it basically the higher notes are more crisp, and that's always turned on when you're recording, so that's good. That's a good feature. That's one of the reasons why I like this cassette deck, because it has good features like that. And then underneath it, it's got a timer. You can either set that to record or play. What that will do is, say you get it set, you've got it on a plug that comes on at a certain time. So say like 8 o'clock for an alarm. What it'll do is, when I'll turn the power off, but when the power comes on, it'll automatically start playing. And the same goes for record. I'll not do that because I don't want to record over what's on this cassette. And then just next to that we've got the tape types, which are normal, chrome and metal. The usual three. Obviously there's no ferrochrome, because by this point no one was really making ferrochromium cassettes anymore. So that explains that one. And then just above it we've got the decibel-o-meter peak level indicator recording thing. So this is what you would use when you are recording. It displays how high everything is. If you're recording with Dolby, obviously you have it in that bit there. That's fairly self-explanatory. I think most people have seen those. It's nice. See, I like to have that, because even when the cassette deck isn't recording anything, if you have a cassette in, you just press record, but say you're listening to a CD, you can turn the thing on the amplifier to CD. Obviously it pegs straight away, but you can have a bit more visual flair to your music that's not necessarily coming out of the cassette deck, which is what I sometimes do, just because it looks cool. But yeah, we'll go back to how it was before. So obviously when it plays, if there's anything on the actual cassette, hello. Ah, there we go. Yeah, so it does that. Then underneath we've got the sticker that says Class AA, and then underneath that we have the Dolby B and C noise reduction. Obviously Dolby B and C, and also off. No Dolby S because I don't think that had come out by this point. But yeah, there's not much I can say about that. However, they are a bit odd. I think there's something wrong with the Dolby circuitry, because what it does is it creates an overly compressed sound. I'll demonstrate it to you later and I'll talk about it later. But yeah, they're a bit temperamental. And then if we move down here and zoom out a little bit, what we can see is the transport control. So we've got the usual rewind, stop, play, and fast forward. Now, the interesting thing about the fast forward and rewind on this is when you're not playing anything, you just press rewind and it'll rewind without you having to keep it pressed down. Same with forward, and they'll just stop, or you can go straight into play. So here's the interesting thing about when you're playing a cassette. You press play and then you press forward. I'll just turn that down. You have to press and hold forward. However, when it's in play, what you can do is actually listen to the cassette as it forwards and listen for gaps. So that's helpful for when you're actually trying to find the gaps between the tracks, because this doesn't have the automatic detection that my old Technics mini system has, which was a fair bit newer. And then obviously you've got record and pause, which is fairly self-explanatory. To be honest, there's not much point in the pause button being there, because you can pause it and then just press play, but it's the same as the stop button really. When you press record, it does both of them. So that's that. And then here, this is a bit of a recording feature. What it'll do is when you press that, so you've got to the end of a track that you want to record, what you do is you press that and then it'll record 4 seconds of silence onto the cassette and then stop. So it basically means that it puts a gap between the tracks, which is useful because it's better to have a little bit of a gap between the tracks rather than just have them run into one another. Right, and then finally we're on this bit, which is the record level adjustment. Yeah, it doesn't have automatic record, so so it doesn't automatically set it, which is a good thing because it means that you can set it yourself and you can get it more precise than the automatic system would, because sometimes they can play up a little bit. And then obviously underneath it's got the balance knob, which is absolutely tiny. And then under here we've got some weird things going on here. If I just nail the focus on that. So as you can see, there is a headphone slot. Now, why would you ever use the headphone slot? It's, you're going to have it plugged into an amp. But also, there is no volume regulation on this headphone slot. You would think, yes, just change the record level. Surely that'd work. No. It's just one level and it's far too loud. I'll try and demonstrate it now. And then the two mic inputs, one, they're absolutely huge because they take a full size jack, and also they need a left and right. Well, how many microphones do you know that have a left and right on them? Barely any. So to use that, you'd have to have a special adapter, which is annoying. But then again, who's recording their voice on tapes nowadays? Again, it's all pretty pointless, unless you just want to play around. Right, okay, so there's the look round the device. Now we'll have a look at listening back to a cassette. Obviously this won't be a great test because YouTube gets in the way. But I've got a bit of YouTube audio library on this cassette, as I mentioned earlier. And also we can look at this noise reduction issue and see what the crack is there. Right, okay, so as you can see, it really is packed with features, especially for the price that I paid for it. And the quality is decent, so what we'll do now is I'll do some quality tests. However, what you will see is that the Dolby, as mentioned earlier, it's a little bit, I don't know, there's something not quite right with it. There's a bit of compression, it sounds like. So I'll see what you think.
Right, okay, so this is editing me, and it has occurred to me that the test that I've just done, the difference isn't that audible, but it is in real life, so you just have to take my word for it, please. Thank you.
So yeah, I don't tend to put the Dolby B and C on while I'm listening to it back, because it tends to put that weird sound on, that crushed, compressed sound. So I usually leave that out. But in terms of the round off, we're going to look at the pros and the cons. The pros are, it was very cheap. You know, it was even cheap by eBay standards of the time, because the bloke had it on an auction and it was at £35 the reserve, and it wasn't met. So he put it back up for 28. I was the only bidder, and I got it for about 30 quid. So yeah, £28. That was it. Yeah, £28. So it wasn't a lot of money at all. Furthermore, most of the features work. You know, I've not had any problems with belts perishing, touch wood. You know, it works fine, and I don't actually think it's had any work done to it. So I think that's a little bit of a testament to how well it was built. And also, you know, it does work well. It does the job. However, the cons are, as mentioned earlier, the Dolby B and C is a little bit strange. It gets even worse when you put the C on. There's only one deck. It would have been nice to have two, so I could do tape to tape. Not that I do much tape to tape recording, because there's no need. There's not much need for a recorder anyway. To be honest, most people who will be buying this or watching this video will only want to play back a few of their old cassettes, such as, you know, their Simple Minds Glittering Prize cassette and things like that. They won't be too interested in recording. Furthermore, there's no auto reverse, which is a bit annoying because it means you have to flip the tape around, but, you know, again, for the price, I'm not really bothered. And also the mic inputs are really weird. Like, you can't just plug a normal microphone in, you have to have a left and right channel to go into it, and they use the full size massive connectors that hi-fis for some reason seem to insist on using. And also the headphone output, I mean, not that anyone would really use it, because most people will use it in a stacker system like I've got. That's a bit strange because it doesn't have a volume control, so it comes out and it is too loud. But yeah, overall, it's a decent deck. It gets the job done. So yeah, and with that, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like, as I said earlier. If you have stuck around this long, thank you very much. It means a lot. It shows that you've enjoyed the video. So even more reason to leave a like. And yeah, I'll see you next time. In a bit.